All right, guys, I wanted to share a case study. One of the reasons I still love what I do is I get to change lives. Simply put, that's why I say get 1% better every day. One of my taglines is also changing lives one muscle at a time, one session at a time, one exercise at a time. So I wanted to share this quick case study. Got a referral last night or yesterday, and I was able to see her in the evening. Won't share any particular information. She's given me permission to talk about her case for anyone, whatever on that front of it. She's been dealing with stuff for 14 years. Okay, 14 years. That's a long time. All I can do when someone steps in front of me is go through my assessment, which we did. I listened to what she had, and actually that same day, she's actually been in more pain recently, and she actually went to see a pelvic health therapist who she said actually was pretty rough with the internal stuff. So that was intense earlier that day. And then she saw a new chiropractor that she saw her for 20 minutes, did x-rays, told her, oh, your thing, your sacrum's out of alignment and we need to pop it back in. She didn't even do an adjustment, which is rare. But all of this stuff is not unusual. It's not uncommon in this space of healthcare, fitness. So I went on to say, okay, well, let's take a look at how you're moving. So I did some toe touches, some bend back, some McKenzie type assessment. Over the years, I've developed my own form of assessment and movement strategies to see what we can do, where we need to go. Ultimately, this human in front of me wants to get out of pain. And so with some sciatic stuff going down to her left foot, she actually wanted to try dry needling, which she had never done. She has done acupuncture. One other big thing about her case, 14 years, she did have a list of, I asked her, how many clinicians do you think you've seen over 14 years? She literally had a list at some point, up to 315 clinicians, from neurologists to endocrinologists to chiropractors to physical therapists to acupuncturists to Reiki to shaman and all these other things. Obviously, with 14 years of nothing helping. She's even studying somatic therapy. And so I asked her, okay, that's cool, and I assume you've done some breath work, and she has. And the first thing I do with almost everyone, put one hand on your chest, put one hand on your belly, take a few deep breaths in and out. Again, most people, over 98% of people, breathe up into their shoulders, into their chest, into their neck, versus doing a deep belly breath. So that was one of the things that I said, oh, well, like, she kind of understood. Again, when you get into these yoga and Pilates things, there's that cue of sucking your belly button, your spine. I do find folks end up with worse kind of issues going on somewhat in the ability to breathe into the belly. So as much as she had kind of awareness, there's also the pain science, and she did and acknowledge that she had this, like, the more pain she's in, the more this pain pattern, the pain science, she had poor discernment. And I was just talking with her and geeking out a little bit on this stuff. And there's this thing called 2-point discrimination, where if you, and I normally wouldn't do it with scissors, it's just what I kind of happen to have here, and you do it with a much more fine point. But basically, I do that and press on the skin, and with the eyes closed, say, is that 2 points or one? Somebody with a lot of pain patterning like she had, and literally with this, I just did it to show her on her back. She couldn't discern. I think it was pretty wide, and these are very big points versus, again, more fine points. She couldn't discern that this was 2 points. She felt 1 point, which is what the brain does. The fancy term there is brain smudging. So anyway, I tested her hips. She just had a lot of tightness going on, which makes sense with her history. And then I showed her a sciatic nerve floss. I asked her if anyone had shown her this. In 14 years, considering she's had sciatic symptoms down her left leg into her foot, no clinician has shown her this. Between the breathing, which she's still struggling with, and the sciatic nerve floss, those to me are like someone saying, hey, I'd love to lose weight. What should I do? It's like, eat less, exercise more, or saying, like, have you tried broccoli? Like, I don't mean to sound facetious and get it in my voice. I know I can hear it within myself, but it's like these are basics to me. And again, when we talk about demanding better from healthcare providers, from even fitness experts, I think that, again, this person has spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of trust looking for an answer. And I'm not saying I'm better than all these other clinicians, but we ended up doing some dry needling through piriformis, through lumbar, through QL a little bit, and she got up, and I can share the text message of what she sent me this morning, and even getting up off the table. And again, there's these short-term effects. It doesn't mean she's cured by any means, but it's fine. And I was having this conversation with her. We need to find the path forward for you. So I wanted to share this concept of, again, a lot of people go see a lot of medical providers. There's a lot of reasons why folks don't talk about these things. They don't have time. Maybe they're just not educated on these things. Maybe they don't have as much experience or have been exposed to the right types of clinicians and been able to pull the right thing. I don't know. And again, I'm not saying my method is better than every other method out there. But for this person, I'm very happy to report. Like, it seems like we're gonna move in the right direction. But I wanted to share that story of 14 years of pain, of expenses, of frustration. So I give her kudos to continuing the path forward. And I also just want to, share this story to say, if you haven't gotten relief, if you're like, oh, I've tried physical therapy, I tried chiropractic, I tried this, and like nothing's helping. Not all physical therapists, personal trainers, chiropractors, acupuncturists are created equal. I told her the same thing. Like, if I woke up with back pain tomorrow, there's plenty of chiropractors in my area here that I'd say, hey, like, can you do your thing on my back and make my back feel better? But I also am aware that I need to add the right exercise, the right stretches, and a lot of times when I have had issues of any kind of pains, aches, I'm like looking back and I'm like, yeah, I probably should be doing more of the things I talk about doing all the time. Maybe I've gotten away from foam rolling or stretching the way I'd love to every single day. I'll blame my toddler. It's your fault, toddler. Anyway, all that to say, again, I do these videos to hopefully engage in a conversation with anyone out there who's willing to talk about their experiences, or if you know somebody who's kind of suffering and starting that journey. Again, I wish I could have gotten her 14 years ago and say, hey, just start doing these things. Might not fix everything, but I'm pretty sure we can save a lot of hassle and heartache and pain if we start a little bit more of the right approach, the low-hanging fruit. Again, if somebody's on a weight loss journey and they're just taking supplements and looking for that quick fix, a lot of times that's not the answer. And again, it might have some impact, some effect, but it's not addressing the root cause, which is what my goal is. I'm always working to get at least 1% better as a clinician every day, and my goal is to, whoever's in front of me, get them way more than 1% better in their session with me. So love to hear what you guys think. If you've had similar experiences, if you know somebody like that, again, that's what I'm here for. So shoot me a message. Let's touch base. And I got to go. I'll talk to you guys next time.